Today we're gonna dive into the world of Mötley Crüe and I'm gonna show you some trademark moves of their fantastic bass player, Nikki Sixx. To be honest, Nikki Sixx is known more for his songwriting ability and for his stage presence rather than for his bass technique. His style is simple. Nikki is a solid rock bass player. He plays root most of the time, but that's okay. After all, this is not Red Hot Chili Peppers, this is Mötley fucking Crüe, right? So there is not much to say about his technique or sound, other than get a Thunderbird, tune down the D, get $1 million haircut, and party hard. His bass parts are equally simple, and if you listen to the isolated tracks, you'll see it's very hard to tell him apart from other players. But if you pay attention to the bass parts within the context of the songs, you'll find out that there are some solutions he really likes to use. And since repetition legitimates, we can say that Nicky's bass lines do contribute to the Mötley Crüe sound way more than his choice of amplifier. And there's a couple of things that make him a very special bass player. The way he interacts with the rest of the band, and the way he leads the dynamics and underlines the structure of the songs. So if you play in a rock band and you're stuck at playing root, you might get some good ideas that you can use in your bass parts. By the way, since there is not a real technique to demonstrate, I will be mostly using video tutorials I have already made. So if you'd like to learn the songs mentioned in the video, check the links in the description. Okay, so here's a few tips you should follow if you want to sound like Nikki Sixx. Tip number 1. Use slides for dramatic effect. Nikki likes to play slides to underline special sections of the songs, like the mighty intro of Shout to the Devil. Tip number 2. Double the guitar part halfway. Another thing Nikki does all the time is doubling the guitar part. It's quite common in bands with only one guitar, but Nikki does it only for a half or 1/4 of the duration of the riff. Here's a few examples. Tip number 3. Use different rhythm figures for different sections. In Mötley Crüe's music, the guitar and the drums often keep playing the same parts with the same intensity throughout the song. So it's the bass that drives the dynamics and underlines the different sections of the song. What Nikki does is changing the rhythm figure when going into a different song section. For example, going from the verse to the chorus or from the intro to the verse. Most of the time, he lets the verse breathe and then brings in more sound in the chorus. In other cases, it's the other way around. Tip number 4 is throw in something new during the solo. Normally, getting in the way of the guitar during a solo is not a good thing to do. But Mötley Crüe, having no rhythm guitar, can get away with a few scales here and there, to bring some movement and to make the part stand out even more. Tip number 5. plays 16 notes over a straight quarter note drum beat. This is another trick Nikki uses very often, and that contributes to the creation of a solid classic Motley rhythm pattern that leaves the guitar free to do whatever it wants. Tip number 6. Play root on outros, but change the octave every 4 bars. This is another feature that keeps popping up in most Motley Crue songs. During the outros, where normally we hear Mick Mars' main riff repeated until faded out, Nikki keeps going up or down an octave every 4 bars, a simple trick that really brings a sense of conclusion to the part. Tip number 7. Play staccato quarter notes under the main riff. Another easy option that brings movement to the part, even if you're just playing root. And last, tip number 8. Play chromatic intervals on the 2nd or 4th bar. Nikki likes to play chromatic intervals on the 2nd or 4th bar of the verse, sometimes during the bridge. This is another good solution that brings a little variety before going back to root. And this is pretty much all there is to say about Nikki Sixx bass style. In conclusion, Nikki is often mistreated by the bass community, and honestly, I don't see why. He's not a flashy player, but other rock bassists can get away with a very simple style, and they don't have that many detractors. After all, Nikki wrote some of the best anthems of the 80s rock music, and he has one of the coolest hair and image in the rock world, so I think it's time we all cut him some slack. By the way, did you know that the bass track of Kickstart My Heart is actually played on a synth? Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Till the next video.